This is Zayn Farooqui, but before we even get started on what's happened today at press conference, the guest that we have on the show, please like and subscribe and make sure you comment down below of any questions that you've got to ask myself, Zayn Farooqui, and we've got a special guest with Mr. Charlie Parsons coming on today as well. So, Zayn, bro, what happened today, mate?
You know what? I'm excited because today it went down. I'm sure if you're watching this, I'm sure you've seen the press conferences. And I'll be honest, I didn't expect as much heat as we got.
Me too. Like, I think I even said, obviously, to a few of the guys at Into after, this promoted the fight more than it's been promoted since the whole thing's been released. And I am excited for Saturday night.
I know, I'm buzzing. And to be honest, a lot of the fighters which I weren't expecting to bring the heat, brought the heat. Like, obviously we know there's a few personal fights here, and I thought those were the one to go down. I really thought Slim and Ryan would be the one causing the clash. But Tom Zanetti and Jaden King, no one could have expected that.
I think, obviously, because Can King wasn't at the live workout yesterday, there was no hype, there was no excitement around, obviously, Zanetti working out, there was interviews. But today, he was even looking around, is whoopee here, that they were Tom Zanetti's words, and boy, did they put on a show.
I mean, they put on a show and a half, as in, I think they went for each other about 3-4 times. That alone was a boxing match. But I have a question for you. Obviously, they were getting very personal. And Jaden King, he did mention about his son calling him some bad terms. What's your thoughts on that? Do you think it's just fighter talk, or do you think you went a bit too far?
I think fighters are expected to promote fights, and evidently sometimes you've got to have that mitigation. You've got to have that ammunition on your opponent. But sometimes there's personal and there's personal. And I feel like even though it rattled obviously his opponent, Tom Zanetti not only went for him once, ran around the stage, the water gun. Like, there's so much to talk about. But I personally thought it was too far. But in a way, it promoted the fight an incredible amount today. So a part of me enjoyed it, but a part of me would have took it personal as well.
I think it's one of those ones. If you're in that position, it's never nice to hear. But from an outside, non-biased viewpoint, what a way to sell the fight. And I feel like that fight didn't have as much hype from before that. But now I think everyone's going to be waiting for Tom Zanetti v Jaden King. But other than that fight, what else did surprise you? I mean, you had Slim with the presentation. What did you think of that?
I feel like, obviously, we expect a lot of crazy things from Slim, to be honest. He's usually the entertainer of the card. He's usually the loudmouth, calling people out. But today, I felt like he was quite focused. He knew in his head, and he even stated, obviously, on the press conference today, that he's not going to push him. He's not going to get in his face, because his head and mindset is focused on one thing, and that is Saturday night. So in my opinion, as much as big respect to Jay Swingler and his opponent, I feel like Ryan and Slim feel like the main event right now, and Zanetti and Kankin have got the co-main event, in my opinion.
It does. I mean,
yeah.
As you said with Slim, I think the same for Ryan. I think in the same sense, they both seem very focused. They weren't giving it the talk. They weren't physical with each other. Even Slim said, I'm not going to be physical before the fight. So I think that's how you know they're both locked in. It's not
100%. I
feel like for them, it's like, forget YouTube, forget social media. I want to beat this guy up.
And I think obviously Ryan Taylor was quite open about him still needing to make weight. So I think in his head, he's got a lot to focus on, obviously, to come to the weigh-ins tomorrow and be prepared. And Slim didn't get that personal again. And like he said, I'm focused on one thing, and that's Saturday night. So I guess that's all we got to wait for. Unless tomorrow, guys, at the live weigh-in, there could be some more drama, as obviously on the first Misfit event, there was Vamos!
Yes.
If you remember, it was loud.
Exactly.
So it could kick off.
From yesterday's press conference, we actually do have some of the fighters with us. We've got even Halal and DTG coming to join us in a minute. That, even though it didn't kick off, I still had some tension between them two.
I think there was. I think at the end of the day, obviously, it's DTG's first fight. Obviously, he even stated in the press conference today that he's never boxed before. Music's his orientation. And obviously, Halal Ham's been in the ring with the Mr. Man, Salt Pappy, who also is potentially going to be joining us today as well. So he's had experience. He's lost. Obviously, he mentioned sort of kind of like about the personal cancer stuff today as well. And as we're talking about it, the main man's about to walk into the room. Hello, mate. Wherever you want to sit.
Nice one. Have you got the man himself, Salt Pappy?
How you doing, man? How you doing? You right?
Yeah,
man. Sit there, bro. How are you?
Good, more gravy.
Good. Appreciate you guys coming down.
Talk to us. How are you? How was the press conference?
I'm all good, mate. How are you?
I'm all good. Thank you very much. How did you find the press conference?
It was eventful and it was delightful.
How are you?
I'm really good, mate. Nice to see you again.
Nice
Last
to
time I
see you.
saw you was at the last Misfits event.
Oh yeah?
And
Was it?
Was it you? No, it wasn't. It was your friend. It was the other guy that wears glasses.
What guy?
What's his name?
What guy who wears glasses?
He wear. Oh,
Well, that was
I can't
another
remember.
I'm the only guy who
No,
wears
It's
glasses.
not you. There's a guy that wears sunglasses in his videos.
Who I know?
No, you might know him.
What? Who?
He does the comedy skits. He was with JD recently. I need to find out. who
Okay,
he
we're
is.
gonna figure out.
I'm
who-
sure,
we're
he had
gonna figure out who
sunglasses.
that
I
is.
just assumed it was you, mate. I was
But
just like,
hello,
this proves
Hammer.
so bad.
I do want to start with you.
Thank you, man.
Obviously, from your last fight, you fought
Yeah.
the man to my
Yeah,
left,
yeah,
so
yeah.
Pappy.
Yeah.
How much do you think you've improved as a fighter from last time?
Well, ask him. Ask him. Obviously, like we're
I've
the
got
same
questions
camp.
for him.
Uh,
But I want to hear your viewpoint.
Yeah, so right now, like I'm a completely different fighter right now. How I was in both my fights. Obviously, you saw the weigh-in. No, not the weigh-in. The public workout. That there was probably only half
fast.
of what I can do. As in, like you say, fast. I wasn't even going full speed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was wearing 14-ounce gloves as well.
Wow. I mean,
Never mind
you were
10-ounce
looking
gloves.
very good. I'll tell you that.
Thank
much.
you, man.
And how much has Salt Pappy been in your camp this time? How much has
A
that
lot.
helped you?
It's affected a lot of it.
You've seen what he's got to bring to the table.
100%, man. As in, like, we've had a good camp. He's obviously very, very skilled. I've learned a lot from him. I've learned a lot from Solomon. So yeah, man, it's been a very good camp. So yeah.
Amazing. And obviously, you're fighting DTG.
Yeah.
And I feel like from his point of view, it seems like he thinks you've been disrespectful with the whole haircut, odd socks. What's your response to that?
Bro, it's entertainment. It's an event. Why is he crying, mate?
I
Like,
think it's a big deal.
no, it's not a big deal.
No, I don't
Like,
think it's either.
bro, like the amount of shit I was saying to Nath, and now like we're
Yeah.
training together. How is it just? Oh, bro, like it's an event. Imagine if he says, "Oh no, you hit me in the face." Well, that's just disrespectful. No. It's not disrespectful, man.
So, you probably are the best person to answer this question. You fought this man, obviously, on the Showstar Deji event. How much has he improved from your fight, obviously, to coming into camp to this day forward?
I mean, Halal trained very hard for this event. For the sparring that we've been doing, I've been putting in like a lot of work, like hard punching. Yeah, we did like how many rounds? Like 6 rounds. Like one
about
time?
6 rounds
Like hard
last time.
sparring,
Yeah.
like 3 minutes each.
For 45-second rest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he didn't get tired.
Okay, so the fatigue's there.
Yeah, like on
The fatigue's not there.
It's not there.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
You
Because
sure?
On our last fight, we fought like 3 rounds, 2 minutes, and he was tired.
Yeah,
So obviously in that first fight, let's go back into fatigue. Do you feel like that had a massive effect on obviously your fight with Salt Pappy, obviously on the Showstar event as well?
Well, there was a lot which went on that event. There's a lot of stress, added stress into the event. Obviously, I wasn't 100% healthy as well on the event. A lot of it was down to stress as well, but before the event, and then also as well, I was fighting Nath Salt Pappy as well. Like he's one of the best out there. As in Andy Warski barely lasted 10 seconds.
Yeah.
That's an understatement.
Yeah.
Exactly.
As in like I managed to obviously fight the whole 3 rounds still with him. Yeah.
So would you say that fitness has been a massive focus this time coming round?
No.
Okay.
No, I could be the same level of fitness as before, just how I am now mentally. As in, I'm more relaxed now, and that's what it's going to come down to. It's going to come to me being relaxed, and also just right now my hands are fast. So
Yeah, I mean, talking about fast hands, we got Mr. Salt Pappy here. Obviously, you knocked out your opponent in, how many seconds was it? 10, 12?
I mean, I dropped him in like 15 seconds.
Yeah, within 15 seconds, and that was a huge statement.
Mm.
Obviously, I know you're raring to get back in the ring again. Give me your top 3 names of who you want to fight.
First, I want to fight Kenny
Okay.
and Gabe and Slim.
Damn, those are the top dogs. You don't have any like fear in you, like.
No, I don't think they're the
No,
top,
bro,
they're
he's
just-
a Salt
they're
Pappy,
just
bro.
some more
Where
followers.
where do you rank yourself in the social media boxing?
At least top 5.
I think you do deserve more credit.
That's quite humble.
yeah, I
But-
think
and
top
the thing is-
3.
But the thing is, because I think coming from Salt Pappy's experience, he lets the fights do the talking. It's so easy to call out influencers. Obviously,
Yeah.
we had Pretty Boy Taylor calling out everybody today.
Yeah.
And I feel like with Salt Pappy, he would prefer to let the fight and do the explanation of who his next opponent is. Because he could just shout, "Hey, look, I want to fight KSI."
Yeah.
But there's no point.
There's no point.
There
doing
is no
that,
point.
It's more about actions speak louder than words, they say. So I mean, you keep
Yeah.
proving yourself like how you did to Andy. There's gonna be no choice but for you to face the top dogs.
Exactly.
And I think personally, I would love to see you v King Kenny because King Kenny is known for taking hard fights.
Yeah,
He's a good fighter. So I think the matchup between you two, whoever wins that is a real statement.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I cannot let it go to the judge. You know, I have to knock him out.
I respect that. I respect that. Who knows? January boxing card Misfits
Yeah.
might see Soul Pappy v Kenny.
Indeed.
Come on.
So let's touch on mental health because evidently in your last fight, because of what happened with the cancer and stuff like that, was that, like you said, probably the main focus to kind of get fresh-headed and be prepared for obviously overcoming the cancer and then even getting back into the ring after?
Yeah. So like the first time I fought, literally a day after signing and agreeing to the fight, I found I had cancer. The whole camp, I never really thought about having cancer because obviously I was concentrating on doing the fight and stuff. But yeah, like physically, I feel so much better now and healthier. As in, like a lot of people said, "Oh, I look so much more healthier now, fitter now, even slimmer now for this fight." But in the last fight, I was actually I weighed a lot less than this fight. So yeah, it just shows that health is a very important thing.
Yeah,
Agreed.
I totally agree with that. But obviously, I want to know, Saturday night's around the corner now. Can we get your final prediction?
I'm gonna go for the first round knockout.
First round knockout. He's following in Soul Pappy's shoes.
Yeah, of course, man.
Well, he's training with a man. There's no reason why he hasn't got that intention, and it's a great pedestal to put yourself on.
Exactly.
Especially, yeah, I like that.
Obviously, you've been in camp with him near enough the whole time.
Yeah.
How do you think the fight's gonna go?
It's gonna be a one-sided beatdown. Yeah, and we wish him a speedy recovery. For
Oh
that.
no, he said the line. He said the line. Last time he said that line, we all know what happened.
We
to
wish him
Andy.
a speedy recovery. Yeah.
Mate,
You need to do merch in that. I wish him a speedy recovery.
Because me and Zayn were even speaking. Like,
Yeah.
You're wearing your socks and your sliders. Who cares?
No. I'm be honest. Yeah, I forgot my shoes.
Yeah, but
I forgot my trainers.
I'll be really
Can we
honest.
get a drip check? Can we get a
Yeah,
drip check
yeah.
to the camera?
When you was on the pad, you looked very impressive.
Thank you.
Like, there's, in my opinion, obviously, I was at the Showstar ringside as well, and even your hand movement and your footwork has completely changed from the fight anyway.
Thank you.
So evidently, the hard work,
Mhm.
the mental health, obviously, congratulations and amazing. Obviously,
Thank you,
being
man.
cancelled out for me, anyone
Thank
going
you,
through
man.
that process
Appreciate
is
that.
massive, and then to get back in the ring, you're doing a lot more than what we could do anyway. So
You know what it is, yeah. The main thing which I'm having here, which I didn't have last time, was I'm having fun now, and that's what I learned from Nath. As in, like him, he'll spar anyone and like he'll train anyone, but because he treats the sport like it's fun, you know, like.
Yeah.
And that's how I managed, and that's what I did this time around. As in last time, I was like, "Alright, cool. It's business. It's a fight." I wasn't really having fun with it.
Took it too seriously.
Yeah. This time I'm having fun with it, and then like now, like like you said, it's a lot better now. You get me?
Yeah, I mean, I think when it comes to boxing, the mental side of it is so much more, just as important as the physical side.
100%.
You could be the best fighter in the world, but mentally, if you're not feeling confident, you're going to put yourself down.
Yeah.
So mentally going into this fight, do you feel like you're in a much stronger position?
Yeah, 100%, man. I'm happy. I've had a good week. Yeah.
I mean, and do you think, like, obviously, like we say, huge well done, beating something like cancer.
Thank you.
I feel like once you achieve such a milestone, it's like there's nothing to lose. Like the fact I'm here, I've beaten cancer. Like now I'm playing in a boxing match. You've done the worst of the worst.
Yeah, you're 100%, man. But this is just that. There was just one step of my journey and my story, and there's something why I just want to keep accelerating on. You know what I mean? As in, like, I want to keep just inspire people. Obviously, my fans and that, and then obviously other people who've gone through similar kind of situations as well.
So before we get you off, if you were to be successful on Saturday night, who's next?
Who's next? It'll be my next opponent.
Okay.
Yeah.
To be fair, I don't think
No
of
names
that.
to
I don't think of
mention,
that.
No.
No names. Okay.
No.
Wait till after the
Just
fight.
thought I'd
Yeah.
check.
I'll wait until after the fight, and then I will go back to the drawing
That's
board.
good because it just proves that you're focusing on
Yeah.
Saturday
Yeah,
night.
yeah.
Beyond that is irrelevant right now.
100%,
The main
man.
focus. I like that.
Thank
We got to ask. We got to
Yeah,
ask
100%.
before you start. Like it's,
Also, one thing which I want to put out on stream is my opponent keeps saying, "Oh, only had 3 weeks' notice and stuff like that." Yeah, that there is not true. We both had the same exact time, which was about 6 weeks. Yeah, we had both exact same time to train for the fight. I know, alright, cool. I've had 2 fights before. I was in the previous camp, but after my fight, I had a big operation. I didn't start training till for this fight, really. Like I sparred a few times in Nathan in this previous camp, sparred with DTG, but I wasn't in camp.
Okay, well, that means a lot. We're going to go on a short break and then we're going to
Awesome.
be right back with you. Stay tuned.
Thank you, guys.
This is a fantasy fight.
This fight has been a long, long time coming.
This rivalry goes back 2012 when they last met. Savannah Marshall won that fight.
She wants to get that win back.
She won't be able to sleep properly at night until she reverses that loss.
A 10-year history.
Since she wants to say she's gonna knock me out, I am coming over there prepared to knock her out.
Larissa has never faced a threat like Savannah Marshall.
The fight will live up to the hype.
The greatest thing to happen to influencer boxing. He wants all the smoke. Let's go! Here we go. They're rocking. Don't count out of this fight just yet. Whoa! It's the real deal. Are you not entertained? Don't blink on this one.
Guys, and we are back with Into Boxing. It is your boy Richard Sales official, followed my big man Zayn, Farooqui, and joined by the main man DTG.
Yo.
Bro, what you telling me, man? How are you?
We're here, man. We're here. We're in Sheffield.
We are in
First
Sheffield.
time here.
Yeah.
Have you not been here before?
I've been here once, and I think it was when I used to work as a manager in Weatherspoons. I had like a kitchen course here.
Oh, sick.
But I was out in the countryside side of Sheffield.
What about yourself?
Yeah, I've been here a couple of times. How are you finding it compared to London? It's very different, isn't
It's
it?
different, to be fair. I don't even live in London at the moment, though.
Oh, where you in Kent,
I'm living
innit?
up in Kent, yeah, and that itself has been very different for me. So
Whereabouts in Kent?
I'm basically in Shorn, like
Okay.
Gravesend, like
Okay, yeah, not too
proper
bad.
in the woods.
Not too
It's
far.
crazy.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
So-
Now, when it comes to boxing, obviously this is your first fight.
Yeah.
How has camp been and how are you feeling mentally going into this fight?
Camp's been cool, to be fair. It's been different, man. Like I said at the press conference earlier, like boxing is very different to the norm. For myself, obviously I'm an artist, I make music. I spend most of my days in the studio. If I'm not in the studio, I'm at home gaming normally, gaming my life away. So, you know, putting that aside and, you know, focusing on fitness and obviously boxing and mentally preparing myself for the fight, it's been interesting. It's definitely been a roller coaster, but you know, it's fight week. Literally fights in 2 days now. And yeah, mentally I'm cool. Definitely good for the mental health, I reckon, training for a fight like this. Kind of putting life aside, you know, my issues and whatever, dealing with, again, just focusing on the boxing stuff. It's good. It's good to obviously get in shape, healthy eating, cutting out certain things to obviously try and get as fit and as fit as I feel really for this fight. It's been good, man. I've definitely been enjoying it.
Yeah, I'm glad. I hear from a lot of people say how much it helps their mental health.
Yeah.
And even Halal was saying, well, he's your opponent. He was saying it's helped him a lot with mental health.
Okay.
But, you know, talking about your opponent, obviously Halal, he's had a lot more boxing experience.
Yeah.
He's fought more people.
Yeah.
Does that slightly concern you?
Nah, not really, to be honest. Yeah, I don't really care what other people do. Even like, as obviously I know you know we both come from the football world. Like,
Yeah.
normally when I play against players that have this reputation of being like the Ronaldos of their team, like, I don't give a dash. Like, there's no I in team. You know, it takes a whole team, and even with this boxing stuff, it's like, cool, you might have this person training you or that person training you, but it's about you as an individual. And I know me as an individual, no matter what task I'm given, I work hard, and I might get the outcome, I might not, but in this scenario, I just don't really see myself not getting the victory that I'm working towards, you know.
So from like an artist perspective, sometimes the mental health, the depression helps with the writing of the music. Being claustrophobic in a room by yourself sometimes has a real effect on the emotional side of what you then produce.
Yeah.
Do you feel like the boxing side has created more of like a sociable side to yourself? And coming out of that sort of like mindset of just being by yourself, writing lyrics to obviously the emotions that you're feeling there and then. Where in the boxing ring, you're with other people, your trainers, people around you, the press, the media. It's a big different part of preparation for songs in comparison to a fight.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, like my writing process is kind of different. Like sometimes I'm by myself, like I might just be in my room writing, or I could be on the train writing, I could be in the studio with people. So it kind of differs, to be fair. But I mean, as for camp, and stuff, like I feel like it's really cool because I literally only met my trainers like a month ago, and I proper feel like they're family to me, you know, like they're such sick people. Big up the Comiskis, Phoebe and Kerry, sick trainers, man, honestly. And it's like I look at Kerry as like another one of my dads. I look at Phoebe as like my sister or something, you know. It's like it's been really good. It's like, again, yeah, it just feels like a family, and it is definitely a bit different to music because like obviously I have my music family again. I got my manager A3, I have Okiki, my engineer, I got Madison, I got people around me which are like a family, but where you work with so many different people, it's like, yeah, I might work with this producer or that producer, and it's like there's no real relationship, it's just business, you know, and whatnot. So
Do you think now that you've stepped into the world of boxing that you want to continue after Saturday night as well?
I definitely believe so, to be fair. Again, God willing, I always put God first, so you're going to hear me say God willing a lot, but God willing, I'll get this W, and yeah, man, why not? Again, it does feel really good to be eating healthy, staying fit, working on everything, just literally toning up the body. Just also, it's a really good feeling. And obviously with the current state of social media and this whole social media boxing thing, it is really good to be involved in it. It does help with other things, you know, like Swords, for example. He's done it. He fucking lost.
He did. He took it on the chin though, and look what's come out.
Yeah, now look, his YouTube channel's popping. His music's doing well again. Like this stuff's good. You know, it has its pros.
Yeah.
So I think why not? And I generally I took this challenge, like completely forgetting that money was a thing attached to this, completely ignoring like how big it could be. I'm doing it for me. You know, I'm doing it for me. I'm doing it for a bunch of other things, but again, God willing, if I get that W, you'll hear exactly who and what I've done this from in my winning speech.
Love to hear it, man.
I mean, we can hear how much this means to you. Like you said, your trainers have become a family. You said you're doing this for yourself. You know, I follow you on socials. I see how much you put in the work in.
Yeah, the thing is, you're actually on my Snapchat friends only.
Exactly. I feel
that's
privileged.
the only thing. Like I haven't posted nothing on social.
So I've got exclusive.
Nothing.
I've got exclusive.
He's seeing stuff.
Exactly.
And we've only just like recognised each other after. Thing is, I actually bumped into DTG at Social in the City a long time ago, which was last year.
Oh, what? The one that performed that?
Yeah, the YouTube event. So we said hello to each other. I've always been aware of you, but and probably vice versa with the whole TikTok scene.
Yeah.
But today was more of like, I swear I know you.
Like literally, you know what it is, but with that, it's like, bro, when you go to so many events and stuff, and when you don't get to have a proper conversation with someone, when it's just a like high and bad thing,
exactly.
You might not necessarily forget the face, but like where there's not a proper encounter, it just might not register when you have that re-encounter.
So the Snapchat friends only, is that going to change?
I'll get your Snapchat.
Come on, this.
From Snapchat friends only, I can see how hard you've been working. And like we said, you know, this means so much. You're doing this for you. You've become a family with your trainers. How much should it mean for you to win this fight?
Honestly, like, bro, I don't even know. Like, I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Like, let's just say, like, bro, I don't even know. It'll mean so much. Like honestly, it'll mean so much to me, because again, having such a short time period to prepare for this fight, and having worked my arse off as much as I have, like, it will just feel very rewarding, you know, to get that win. And again, there's gonna be a lot that I have to say. Not an Anthony Joshua thing, but man's gonna have a lot to say when I win. Nice, quick and short, but I'm gonna get a lot out. Because again, like, I mean, you've seen from social media, my life's not easy. Like, there's a lot of stuff I go through in the background that I never talk about. I'm not one of those people to come to social media and say, I've gone through this, I've gone through that. I might have my little period where I kind of do little cries for help, but like, I kind of believe that in life, and it's facts, everyone goes through their own issues. Everyone has
And there's nothing
problems.
wrong with asking for help either.
There isn't, but me personally, I don't like to be, I know it's not a thing, like, people that I have around me tell me it's not this, but I always feel like telling people, sometimes I feel like putting your problems out there and talking to other people about it can be a burden sometimes, because you might not actually know what someone else is going through. Like, you could come to me and say, this has happened, where I'm currently going through something. So I'm even thinking in my head like, bro, I can't even take in your problem, can't deal with my shit, innit? So I've always been one to try and deal with things myself. And you know what, I like the fact that I put myself in that position, because it's like, I got myself, but I can only have myself so much, you know? So again, with this whole stuff, it's been good for me to get away from certain things that are going on in my life. But again, this win will mean a lot to me because it just proves that no matter what, if you put in the hard work, you can get that result.
Nah, that's amazing. And listen, before we wrap up, can we get your final prediction?
And just to let you know, your opponent's prediction was a first round knockout.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
Well, who? Him knocking me out.
That's correct, yeah.
Listen, I'm not on all this chatting. I'm not on all this chatting. I'm predicting a good fight for myself, and I want to win.
Amazing.
That's all I can say.
I'm rooting for you, obviously, like I said, and anyone sort of kind of from the circle that we all come from.
Yeah.
We want all the fighters to perform, but someone's got to lose, and someone's has basically got to go in this.
If he thinks he can
Not
knock
in
me
this
out.
situation because he's already lost, but this
Yeah.
is your debut fight. And
Thank
I
you.
said, we appreciate you coming on. We are going to go and jump
you,
into
man.
another
Thank
break,
you, man.
guys.
Appreciate you,
But
man.
make sure that you wait for our next guest, and make sure you like and subscribe, please.
See you
as
soon.
well. See you soon, guys.
This is a fantasy fight.
This fight has been a long time coming.
This rivalry goes back 2012 when they last met. Savannah Marshall won that fight.
She wants to get that win back.
She won't be able to sleep properly at night until she reverses that loss.
A 10-year history.
Since she wants to say she's going to knock me out, I am coming over to prepare to knock her out.
Larissa has never faced a threat like Savannah Marshall.
The fight will live up to the hype.
The greatest thing to happen to influencer boxing. He wants all the smoke. Let's go! Here we go. They're rocking. Don't count out of this fight just yet. Whoa! It's the real deal. Are you not entertained? Don't blink on this one.
Hello guys, it is your boy Richard Sales Official back with Into Boxing. Before we continue with tonight, make sure that you like and subscribe. I'm here with my co-host Zayn Farooqui. We got Big Boy Parsons on the chat tonight, and Mr. Simple Simon. How you doing, my friend?
I'm good, thank you. All
Glad
good.
to hear it.
Well, how do you feel? Obviously, your daughter is fighting on Sakili, is fighting on Saturday night.
Yeah.
As a dad, how nervous are you?
When she said to me about it and said, like, what do you reckon? I actually said, no, I wouldn't do it. I said, being hit is a completely different story. You know, you don't understand sort of how it feels and all that. And she was adamant she wanted to do it. And at the end of the day, like, she's, 19, 20 now, and she's so, I've got to support her. I've supported her all my life, whatever she's decided to do. And it's the same with this one. And so about nerves, I'm like, she's got a little bit about her, you know, and she's not scared. So I'm quite confident with it, and I'm quite happy with it. Really. Yeah.
I mean, like you said, you're feeling confident. Obviously, I'm sure you've been with her throughout camp. You've been with her along the way. How confident are you she's going to get the win?
I think. I'm really confident she's going to win. I think it's going to be on points. I mean, like, obviously not disrespecting women's boxing whatsoever, but it's not normally you'll find a knockout in women's boxing.
I mean, especially it's their first time as well.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think it'll go on points. I think they're both going to be fit enough to, you know, go the distance, but then I think Keely will win it because I think she's got a more powerful punch, so I think she'll pick up points more than Astrid, so I think she'll win, yeah.
So, obviously talking about Astrid, this whole fight's meant to be about Keely and Astrid, but Astrid has for some reason made it all about you. She obviously called you a creep at the press conference today as well. Like, what's your sort of kind of response to those comments, and why do you think she's been making them so often?
That's just her, innit? I mean, at the end of the day, right from the beginning, when we fell out and everything, she put on social media, started lying, saying I slept with her and all that. And, you know, I mean, and I called her out for it, and it went viral on TikTok. And then she took it off. Then she took that video off on TikTok. So what's that saying? I mean, obviously she was lying what the situation is, and she's carrying it on now, saying like I wanted her to be Keely's stepmom.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, she having a laugh. I wasn't getting anywhere fucking near her. You know what I mean? But sorry, am I allowed to swear?
Yeah, you're right. You're fine to swear.
Okay,
Yeah, don't worry.
I definitely wouldn't fucking get anywhere near her.
So obviously, like, touching back on it, so do you reckon it was just for views? Obviously, nothing happened between you two in that situation.
No, nothing did. At the end of the day, it was all to do with like started off with Cow the Dragon, didn't it? I mean, she collabed with Cow the Dragon. Obviously, I was good friends with him and was looking after him. And then she said, "Oh, do you fancy collabing?" I said, "Yeah, might as well, do you know, because I think it'll go down well." Obviously, we done a thing called, you know, Say It, Shot It. I got absolutely pissed, you know what I mean? And then we went out, and when you're pissed, you know, you say these things, and it's only like banter, isn't it? And we was playing this game, and like the forfeit, they were saying, people were saying, you know, we were saying, you know, tell us what you want us to do. You know, whoever loses, tell us what you want them to do. And he ended up like, I was shagging her in a disabled toilet. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, which obviously didn't happen. You know, it was just all off the cuff. And like, honestly, I swear to you, I woke up in the morning and it felt like my life had been turned upside down. Honestly, it was crazy.
TikTok can do that sometimes.
Yeah.
One night, like everyone loves you, then you're like the victim and the villain of everything.
Honestly, I just couldn't believe it. I was like, whoa.
Saying what you've said, do you think Astrid has been quite sly, or do you think she's been a bit of a clout chaser? Why do you think she's doing this? Like, obviously, you know what you said was a joke. She knows it's a joke. So why has she made it out to be serious, like it's actually happened and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, it is. Of course, it's for clout. She doesn't. What the thing with Astrid, obviously, and her management, they don't care. They don't care how they get views. They don't care how you know they get followers. You know, they can hurt people's feelings. They can do whatever they want, and they'll take any shit whatsoever, just as long as they're relevant and they're out there. And that's sad.
It's scary, if anything.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's sad, because at the end of the day, I wouldn't do that, because hopefully, you know me, Zayn, hopefully, you know, I'm quite a genuine person, and there's a certain line that you don't cross. You know, obviously you're massive on social media, and there's a certain line you don't cross, isn't there? You know, and she crosses it all the time, and because she doesn't care.
I'm quite lucky. I've never really been involved, like obviously the TikTok drama. I just act like a bit of a wally on TikTok, to be honest. But how does the mental health sort of kind of come in when you're? Because I've seen some of your live site, and some of the comments are just constant nastiness, and it's like, how do you still kind of like get back on live and do these things when, even though obviously it's still great. Obviously, I always say any sort of bad media is good media. But how do you deal with that? Obviously, being like a bit of like an older geezer as well. Like, how does that play into it when your daughter is now involved in the influencer boxing world and also involved in all the drama as well?
Yeah, no, I think at first when it all started to happen, I'm going to be truthful. You know, I struggled to sleep. You know, I took it personally, and I'm, you know, deep inside, I'm quite soft really, and I do care about what people say and care about people's feelings. And it hurt, you know, it really did hurt. And I was so close to say, right, I just can't be arsed with this. Why should I bother? You know, I've retired. Why should I be bothered with this shit? And Keely said to me, no, Dad, don't you do that, because like you're letting them win, and you can't let them win. And we all of us that are, you know, do our stuff, we cannot let them win. And so, you know, I gradually learned to just look at it and take it with a pinch of salt, and sort of like didn't even worry about them people, because I was getting private messages and other messages saying, oh, Simon, you know, you've really helped me with mental health. I watch your lives. I absolutely love what you're doing. And I've even had a couple of people say, I don't know if it's too extreme, but say, like, you saved my life. Yeah. You know, just watching you every night and doing your stuff, it's given me something to do. It's like really helped me out. So even if you just help one person out, the other thousands of people that give you shit, fuck them. Yeah. Let's think about that one person that we've helped out. Do you know what I mean? And that's what it's about, I think.
Exactly. And like you said, like, people change overnight. And I remember after your fight with Ed Matthews, to the contrary to what you might have thought, you got so much love and support. Yeah. But talking about that fight with Ed Matthews, obviously that didn't go to plan. Do you ever plan on stepping in the boxing ring again? I know you've called out Greg Paul and some other names. Have you ever see in the regular hit?
Have you?
Oh, Greg Paul. Greg Paul answered back. Yeah, he wants to do MMA with me or knuckle fight.
Mate, I'd watch that.
Could we ever see in the ring MMA boxing? What's your plan?
Yeah, I mean, boxing definitely. I want to get back in there. So I'll tell you why. Like, I felt like I let myself down against Ed, because I can box a little bit, and you know, I've sparred and done well in sparring. I can box a bit, but I looked like an idiot. I did. And I know people said, you know, you got in the ring with a 20-year-old. We really respect you. Well done what you're doing. And I just want to say thank you so much for everybody that said that. And walking down the street, people saying, oh, we love this side and all that, which is absolutely fantastic. But deep inside, I felt I let myself down, because I don't know what I was doing. I don't know where my head was. I was running into punches. You know, I lost my head. I think it was just all the hype and the occasion. And after the fight, even even like laying on the floor, and I was thinking to myself, what am I doing? What have I done? And after the fight, I can't even really remember it.
Yeah.
So
Adrenaline.
so if I went in there again, I would do things completely different, and that's why I want to do it again, because I want to not only do it for myself, but to show people that I can box, and I've got a little bit, and maybe I might have to go with someone a bit older, but you know, I want to do it. You know?
Well, let me pick up from that, because obviously you talk about that experience first time getting in the ring. Okay, not to be you're fighting someone who's, you know, multiple years younger than yourself, but obviously you've gone through this whole influencer YouTube boxing scene, which is something that's very new to me, like I was discussing to you outside. Obviously your daughter now fights on the card, and we've just seen today, you know, the media, the amount of people that come out for these sort of events. You say that you'd do things differently. Have you implemented what you thought you could do differently into Keely's training and game plan for it?
Yeah, definitely. I've been speaking to her, because me and Keely are quite similar, got similar personalities. You know, if someone crosses us, then, you know, we flip, and that is just what we're like. And in boxing, you know all about the boxing situation, obviously, and you know you can't do that. You know, as soon as you go in there and you lose your head, that's end of. So I've said to Keely the same. You know, if Astrid catches you with one and all the rest of it, just chill. And just, you know, and don't lose your head and start running in, because then you're going to get picked off. And that's exactly what happened to me. So yeah, it's definitely. Hopefully it's helped her, and hopefully she'll listen to what I say.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you said you've learned a lot from your last fight, and you do want to fight again, which is the most important thing. Tell me your top 3 names of who you want to fight.
Well, I'd still box Greg Paul. Definitely, yeah, I'd box Greg Paul. 100%.
Greg Paul, if you're watching.
Yeah. I mean, he won't. I mean, we messaged each other on Insta and stuff like that. He won't. He doesn't want to box. I mean, I called Bull Martin out. Do you know Bull Martin, Morgs' dad?
Oh, yeah.
And he was like, it looked like he was up for it, because he'd done a video back. It went viral, and it looked like he was up for it. But I don't think he's going to be too keen. But I'm just looking for someone. I'm looking for someone like 40 plus. That's, you know, got a bit of backing, because obviously that's what it's about. You want to fight someone who's got a bit of backing as well, so you can get a bit of a, you know, bit of beef going between you, and at the end of the day, it's about ticket sales, isn't it?
You get Jack, you fight Jack.
Yeah.
Jack loves a little scrap.
Yeah, do you know? So you know, the third one. Let's see if there's anybody out there that wants to do it, because I'll do it.
Exactly. Anyone watching, if you want to call out Simple Simon, all you got to be is 40 plus and have a bit of clout.
So obviously he was at the press conference today.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people expected some of the drama. What sort of fight on the card are you looking forward to the most? Obviously, other than Keely and Astrid.
Yeah, Ryan Taylor and Slim. I've always wanted, you know, they was meant to be fighting on our card, and I was really looking forward to it. And I was a bit gutted that I probably wouldn't be able to have seen that at that time. So, you know, when I saw that on there, on the same card as Keely, I was buzzing. So I really think that's gonna be decent. That's gonna be interesting.
I'm excited.
I mean, obviously, like we said, someone who's been in the ring before. How proud are you of Keely just for stepping in the ring alone, no matter what happens? You know, the camp she's been through. Obviously, she was here yesterday. She's talking about how mentally she's had her ups, her downs. How proud are you of her?
Oh God, yeah. You know, I'm going to be true, because I'm soft as shit, really, deep down. Do you know what I mean? Especially when it comes to family and stuff like that. So, you know, I'll be having a few tears afterwards. I expect. Of course, I will, because I'm proud of it. Like all my family, you know, I've had 5 kids. I've got 3 grandkids. And I love them all, and I'm proud of them all. And you know, be the same as Keely on the night which she was with me. And just stepping in the ring, that's hard. That's tough. Honestly, you know, when I went into that ring, it's a tough situation. You know, I got spat on. I had things thrown at me before I went in there, and just going in there knowing you're going to get hit, it's not a nice feeling. So for her to do that, I mean, oh God, I'm so proud of her, obviously.
Well, that leads to what I was going to ask you. The build-up we see when boxers, they step up to their first world title fight or something, it's a different feeling. The whole dressing room, backstage, the walk to the ring is almost like the fight can be won in the preparation beforehand. And when I say preparation, I literally mean those couple of hours prior. Because once you're in the ring, I think it was Swarms who said when he fought KSI, that fight was over, regardless of boxing ability. Before he got in the ring, he didn't know what to expect when he came out. That's going to be the same for Keely. For these guys, they've not even had amateur fights. They don't know what they're going into. They then walk into an arena in Sheffield being broadcasted globally on DAZN. So your first time you did it, What do you say in terms of dealing with those sort of couple of hours before? Because it will be anxious. You know, people can say that they're ready and whatever, but I know Ryan Taylor, Slim, they'll be anxious. Everyone on that card will be anxious in the hours leading up to the fight.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point, because that is so true as well. Because I was like a couple of hours before, you know, I was thinking, what was I doing? And you know, I was feeling. I mean, I couldn't hardly move my neck. So I was thinking, I was holding my neck, and I was holding my shoulder because my shoulder was aching. So I had so many negative things were coming inside of me. And like you said, I lost that fight 2 hours before, 100%. So that is such a brilliant point. I think, you know, it's trying to keep that positivity. That is the most important thing.
How do you personally battle with those demons going into the ring? Because, you know, like I say, it's something that people aren't going to expect. You know, you might, you know, get the odd abuse in town or whatever, but this is thousands of people watching live.
Yeah, do you know what? I know this sounds bad, but you've got to like keep in your head that you don't like that person you're fighting. I think that is the most. I know hate is a massive word, and I don't really like using that word, but that is near enough what you've got to be thinking. You know, you've got to be thinking that person wants to hurt you, that person wants to lay you on the floor, that person wants to put you in hospital. And I think that is the most important thing, is getting that. Can I use hate? I mean, do you know what I mean? Hate.
Well, no, I think hate is the right word, because it's crude and it's dull, but at the end of the day, you're going in to fight each other. You're not going in to cuddle each other.
Yeah, exactly. But you've got to hate that person, and you've got to hate that person. You've got to think that person wants to hurt you, and you know, and you're near enough. Like, you know, it's a very like tough, you know. I don't want to go like into it too much, but it is getting that side into it, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Saying, you know, that person ain't gonna hurt me, and I do not like that person. That person's been disrespectful. That person's been saying these things about me, and that's what I lost in them 2 hours. I stopped it. I stopped thinking that. I started like respecting him for getting into the ring and doing stuff like that, and you've lost it straight away when you do that.
Obviously, you've told us you've experienced it, how it felt for you. Before the fight, what words of advice would you be given to Keely as someone who's experienced it?
Yeah, just the same. You know, just make sure, just remember the stuff that she's been saying about you, and you know, and what's been happening and everything. So you can't get in a ring and like someone. That's impossible, because you will lose that fight, guaranteed. So you've got to keep that, you know, that anger inside of you, but you've got to control that anger at the same time. You know.
Go on. No, I was just going to say, can you touch on how hard boxing is as a whole? Because I think a lot of people see it and they think, oh, I'll hit the bag for a couple of rounds and absolutely sweet. But when you're in there, it's a mixture of adrenaline, it's a mixture of sort of the anger that you feel. You know, you want to go in there, you want to beat that person up. Like I say, it's something that they're going into the ring they won't have experienced before. In terms of like suppressing them emotions and sort of keeping yourself cool, calm and relaxed, but also, you know, it is a completely naked feeling. Like, it's something that she won't have ever felt. And everyone, you can say to her, and you can say, look, that walkout is going to be intense as anything. But even that won't process for her. You know, it will be when it hits her.
Yeah, definitely. I think you just got to like make sure you're relaxing there. That is so important. What you said, that is one of the most important things, is relax and try to keep you calm. And that is, you know, when I went in there, like I say, I lost a fight before I got in, and I got in there and I thought, no, I'm just going to give it a go. He called me with an uppercut. I lost my head and said, no, I'm just going to give it a go. And that is so wrong, you know. You can't do that. Just keep your composure, stay relaxed, and just pick your time. And, you know, because at the end of the day, you know, like you say, 2 minutes is not very long, but it is. It's a long time.
It is when you've got the adrenaline and everything.
Definitely. When you're actually punching, you know, what's that punch? It's like minimal, like not even a second, is it? Do you know what I mean? So you imagine how many punches you can get in 2 minutes. So it's just relax and take your time and pick your shots. And you know, I'm giving advice and look what I've done. But
you've done it. You've done it.
Yeah. That's why you've got the advice, because you've experienced it.
Yeah, that's it. So
I can tell by the way you're talking, you want to fight again because you have so much more to show.
Oh, I do. It's just, you know, I've sparred since then, and you know, and when I've been sparring, I've been relaxed, and you know, and I've done well. I've done really, really well in the sparring because I've been relaxed, and you know, I've been, you know, standing back and dodging a couple of punches and then getting in, you know, and it's just, I know I'm like 52 years old, but I'm still learning. I know it sounds stupid, but it is the case, and yeah.
For the people watching who don't understand the world of boxing, the nutrition, the side of training, everything that goes into it, the cutting weight, just how difficult was that for you? Because that would have been a totally naked and isolated experience for yourself.
Oh God, I respect every single boxer, every semi-pro boxer, pro boxer. I respect them so much. It's just unbelievable. It's the hardest training that you ever know. And I trained properly. I trained like a boxer would. I was running. I was boxing all the time. I was training 6 days a week. And I've probably done too much, to be honest, for my age. I think I should have sort of like had a couple of days break and all that, but I didn't. I wanted to push. And when you're younger, you're able to do that. So, fair play to them, because it is tough. You've got to eat properly. You don't drink. I mean, I like a drink, and I wasn't even drinking, and that's unknown for me. Did I mean? So,
do you feel like you overdid it purely based on how Ed was on TikTok?
Yeah.
The shots that he was obviously throwing at Keely.
Yeah.
I think I get where you're coming from. Why would you take a step backwards when he evidently was just obviously promoting the fight, but he was trying to get into your head, which he obviously did.
No, he did.
But that's only sort of kind of props to Ed in his premeditated anxiety for the fight. His only way was attack.
Yeah.
Where obviously yours was preparation in the ring, trying to do as much as you possibly can. But I think that is a good point that you've made, that sometimes the preparation for the fight can basically decide what the outcome of the fight
definitely.
is. So that's a mad point when you think about it.
Yeah, I mean, I had...
What you're good at what you do.
But I had, I'm not going to, no excuses whatsoever, but, I couldn't hardly turn my neck. Before I got in that ring, I could hardly turn my neck. My shoulder was in bits. My wrist was absolutely killing me because I overdone
flares up
it.
in ways that you would have never experienced
I
before.
literally, and I overdone it because I pushed myself. And that's another thing I wouldn't do so much.
And obviously we were talking to Keely yesterday, and she said her camp has been a bit more laid back. And do you think that could have a positive impact?
Yeah.
Obviously yesterday it was coming across as it's not a good thing, she hasn't trained enough, but maybe it's better, less is more sometimes.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think if you're like sort of fit in yourself anyway, and you can cope with that, 3 2-minute rounds, etc., and you can cope with that, then like you say, less is more.
Have you got the basic fundamentals?
Yeah, definitely.
So guys, that is all from Simple Simon. Thank you so much for coming down at late notice. Make sure you don't go anywhere, guys. We have got another guest coming on. The break's going to hit you. Make sure you comment down below, like, subscribe, and we'll see you in a bit.
This is a fantasy fight.
This fight has been a long time coming.
This rivalry goes back 2012 when they last met. Savannah Marshall won that fight.
She wants to get that win back.
She won't be able to sleep properly at night until she reverses that loss.
A 10-year history.
Since she wants to say she's going to knock me out, I am coming over to prepare to knock her out.
Larissa has never faced a threat like Savannah Marshall.
The fight will live up to the hype.
Greatest thing to happen to influencer boxing. He wants all the smoke. Let's go! Here we go. They're rocking. Don't count out of this fight just yet. Whoa! It's the real deal. Are you not entertained? Don't blink on this one.
Yes, guys, it's Zayn QF. We're back here with Into Boxing. I'm with my man Richard.
Come on,
Mr. Parsons himself. And we've got another guest, Miss AJ Bunker. How are you today?
I'm good. Literally just got here. Got to
I know.
Sheffield.
I texted her about 2 hours ago. Said, "Can you come on a live stream by any chance?"
Yeah, caught me in harvest.
Better late than never.
Well, by the way, guys, can we spam in the chat? Where is your Stone Island Parsons?
Bro, you know what? Charlie Parsons
Yes,
CP
it is.
company. We're having to
Stone
make
Island
shit.
sponsor Charlie Parsons. That's what we want. So obviously, let's just get straight into this. You were supposed to be fighting on this card.
Yeah.
How do you feel about obviously your partner pulling out for personal reasons or for having other opportunities? Like, how has that made you feel? I saw the back and forth on Instagram. Like, what's your feelings on everything?
Do you know what? First of all, I'm gutted because, do you know, not only because I knew I was going to get the W, but because I was so looking forward to smashing her face in. So I clearly think she just got scared. So I'm gutted for that purpose. And also just seeing the build up over the it's gutting. Seeing the press conference there, I was like,
mate,
I wish I was there and part of that.
Crazy tonight.
So yeah, it's honestly it's heartbreaking, especially when you put so much into training and you're like so ready. And I just feel bad for all the people putting effort into my gloves, my outfits. You know, it's just like a lot gone into it, but it is what it is. The girl was clearly too scared, so.
Fair enough. I mean, obviously you had your first fighting experience with Elbrook. How much have you learned from that fight?
Well, obviously last time I only had 2 weeks notice for that fight, so I did, I've actually been able to have a longer fight camp with this one, so I've learned so much, and from that you kind of learn what the experience is like. You kind of know what it's going to be like in there, and how fitness is like important, and just how on the night you literally just don't even have to be worried about the crowd, because all you hear is your coach and see your opponent's face. And so yeah, I've learned a lot. I watched that footage back, and I watched my fight back, and I'm like, I just don't ever want to fight like that again. I do not want to be windmilling punches. I do not want any of that in my next fight. So straighter punches, that's the goal.
Most people's first fights are full of windmills anyway. JJ did it against Joe Weller, even his first fight against Logan Paul. So I wouldn't take that too personally.
Yeah, I think it's like fight or flight, isn't it? It's just like,
well,
stay
that's what we
away
were just
from
saying
me.
with Simon now. It's like the adrenaline that goes in beforehand. You know, the fight can be won in a couple of hours leading up to it. It's so, for someone who's never boxed before to go into that surrounding, it's something completely naked and an experience that you won't be used to until you've done it firsthand.
Yeah, it's mad. Honestly, the adrenaline dump I had afterwards, I literally couldn't stop being sick. I got back to my dressing room and I was like, what is this overwhelming feeling? 'Cause at the time, you're just like, and then, once I got to my dressing room and I had like time to actually sit and relax, I was like, oh my God, what is this feeling? And they're like, that's adrenaline. And I was like, okay.
So obviously with your opponent pulling out, have you had any comms or any sort of kind of further plans of who your next opponent's going to be? Are you even going to be fighting again? Like, talk to us.
100% I'll be fighting again. Something in the woodworks, so I may potentially be fighting in November. Okay. But until I sign my contract, I don't want to say anything, because I don't want to, but so potentially fighting in November. And guys, I'm not being funny. Whoever wins out of Ashton and Keely, I want to take on.
Ooh, you heard it here first, folks.
That's it. There, I want to continue boxing. I want to put all my training into something, and yeah, they're around my weight category as well. So yeah, whoever wins out of that, I want to take them on. So.
I mean, if you had yesterday, it could have gone off, because we had Ashton and Keely yesterday.
It was.
Obviously, you said you'll fight the winner. Before they have their fight, is there anyone you'd rather fight out of those two?
So, you know what, I actually get on with both of them. I've actually spoke to both of them, and they actually get on with both fine. I don't have any beef with them. I probably would prefer fighting Astrid, just because I hate Elle now. Do you know what I mean? And I'd rather have the fight that Elle couldn't have, and just to say I've done it, get that W, and then come back for Elle when I'm...
Oh, right. So
yeah, I want to rematch up.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%.
When the phone call first came for you to dabble and get involved in the boxing side, what was your first reaction? Because obviously, from myself, who comes from the hardcore boxing side, I'm at a professional event every week. You come to these events, it's a completely different buzz, but one that's quite refreshing, actually. We speak to a lot of the guys, and it's like, when the phone call first came, they didn't know what to expect, and then they do it, and they're like, okay, this is real. For yourself, when did it start setting in, and how did you react when you got that first phone call? You're like, oh my God, I'm going to become like a boxer now.
So my first phone call actually started at the beginning of the year. I was actually meant to do Box Star, and when I first got approached for it, I was like, am I allowed to swear?
Yeah, you can swear.
That's what everyone says.
That. Like, oh no, I'm like, no, I don't want to get my face smashed in. Like, what the hell? Why would I want to put myself in that situation? Then the more I thought about it, I was like, do you know what? I'm drinking too much. I'm not being healthy. My mental health's gone a downward spiral. I need something to motivate me. And I was like, I'll go for a training session just to see if I like it. And yeah, first smack on the pads, first crack on the pads. I was like, this feels good. I like that sound. And it gave me it gave me motivation. That fight, obviously, I trained for about 5 or 6 weeks. That got cancelled. Stopped that, then got called up for Celeb MMA. Got into MMA training. That got cancelled. And then, obviously, 2-week notice with Kingpin. I was like, do you know what? I'm going to take it, because I've had too many fights cancelled now. Even if I don't win or lose, I just want the experience of getting in the ring, because I've had too many phone calls and gone through too many situations of I think I'm going to fight, doesn't happen. So I was like, if this fight's definitely going to happen, and it's happening in 2 weeks, let's just get that experience under let's just get it in, really.
No, of course. And obviously, like you said, you were drinking too much and you wanted to do it to improve your lifestyle, health style. So obviously, physically, boxing is great. How much has it helped you? How much has it helped you mentally?
Honestly, it helps my mental health so much. It gives me self-confidence. It just do you know what I mean? And I feel strong, I feel empowered when like I see myself getting stronger, I see myself getting better, when I see my form getting better. It's honestly, it gives you something to wake up. When night fights have always been cancelled, I always like go into a downward, like it sounds so weird because I'll stop training.
It's reactionary though.
Goal, yeah.
It's reactionary. That's the natural thing to do. You know, you go from this one high that I'm fighting to a low, and professional fighters are the same.
Like literally, it happened on the Monday when obviously it got confirmed I wasn't fighting. On the Monday, I woke up and I was like, I just feel like shit right now and it's like, and then obviously I know I might be fighting in November now, so I was like, yeah, back to training. Not that I should always continue training, but it is hard to fit in when with everything else you've got going on. But when you have a fight, it's like, right, everything else is like training. So I've got a fight, I've got a reason, and I've got an excuse to say, well, I'm not going to come to this because I'm training for a fight. But yeah, honestly, guys, anyone who hasn't tried it, get into a boxing gym or gym, put some gloves on and take all that frustration and stress out on the pads or on the bag, and it feels so good. It honestly feels so good.
You say that you dabbled in MMA, which is interesting because a lot of people from the outside will look and go, well, they're two stand-up combat sports, what's different? But they are so different. I mean, the fans don't like each other for a start, so there's already a clash there. The promoters don't get along, the fighters don't get along. Obviously, it's a completely different game. You go from, you know, punching, and not to insult boxing or disrespect boxing, but, you know, MMA, there's jiu-jitsu, there's all these sort of martial arts involved on the ground, grappling, everything. That must have been a weird transformation for yourself as well, just in the couple of weeks or couple of months of MMA training that you did do?
It was. Do you know what? For me, I live life by just trying experiences and trying new things. It's like, until you try something, you don't know if you're going to like it. So I always throw myself into things. But MMA, I love it.
Did you?
I actually love it. I love the ground game. I love choking people out. So yeah, it's
Mad thing.
sorry. No, honestly, no one will want this kind of choking out. But no, I love it, and yeah, I definitely want to do an MMA fight now next year. Obviously, I've got a few more boxing matches, but I do want to definitely still have an MMA fight at some point.
Do you believe it's something you can balance both worlds in and maintain sort of performing in both sports, or is there one that sort of, I suppose if you get yourself a couple of fights in boxing, a couple of fights in MMA, then you can pick one that you'd prioritise? Is that the idea behind it?
I think so. I feel like, obviously, if I continue boxing, it's only going to make my striking game better with the MMA. And like, as I said, at the moment, I was going to go back to MMA training, but when I got called up for more boxing matches, I was like, right, no, I'm going to stick to boxing for now because I don't want to confuse myself. And the stance is different, like the way you do it, you know, it is different. It's always strike the same, it's just a bit different at the same time. So I was like, I'm going to focus on boxing, but next year, for sure, guys, if there's like an influencer MMA fight that comes about, I'm on it. I'll make sure I'm on it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's so disappointing you couldn't fight in this fight. But which fight are you most excited for on this card?
Oh my God, after that press conference today, I'm literally like gassed. I'm not even joking. Like, there is a lot going on. I'm part of my fight camp was Ashley Raksu, so I've just seen Anthony Pretty Boy Taylor.
Shout out Raksu, Ashley.
We love Ashley. But so really excited for that because I know how hard he's been training. I've been in his fight camp, so that one. But then in terms of drama-wise, obviously Slim and Ryan Taylor, that is going to be one to watch. Slim's been saying he's going to get that knockout, so he's promised it as well. So look, he's got what, four right at the moment.
Yeah,
so
4-0, 4 KOs, yeah.
So yeah, he looks like he means it. He's made a promise, and it looks like he's out for war because obviously what happened in the past with what happened. And also, like, after today's press conference with Tom Zanetti and what's his name,
Jaden King.
Yeah, I'm like, I want to see that one now. So I think it's going to be a really good night. And that's key. Honestly, guys, this card is unreal. I'm not going to lie. And after that press conference today, it's just amp things up a bit.
I think that's exactly what it needed, because you look at these and sometimes it isn't the hype until we're in the fight week itself and it's the press conference weigh-in and people are flaring, tempers are flaring, people are making weight. The Tom Zanetti one especially, because yesterday we were all at the media workout, his opponent's not even there. We're like, you know, who's Tom fighting? What's going on there? You know, Tom did an interview with me, told me it was personal. I didn't realise how personal it was until I was there. These guys are like trying to throw for each other. They've got entourages there, like trying to punch each other. So, I mean, clearly another one that's on the radar, but the hype comes in fight week.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. It's just like, as you say, you can have those digital face-offs, but it's only once that's why I'm kind of like, maybe Carla was too scared, because I'm like, what would have happened when we fight? Because the last time me and her were face-to-face, she kicked, like I pushed her, she kicked me in the fanny and scratched me. So I was like, what is it going to be like when we're like in the same room together? So yeah, I think once you're literally opposite your opponent, it just literally just brings fuels that anger, which is what we need for a fight. You need that aggression.
Yesterday we had Ash and Pretty Boy Anthony on. Obviously you've been in camp with Ash. How confident are you he's going to get the win?
That guy's, honestly, Ash's work ethic, that man, I'm confident. I am confident he is going to win for sure. Like, he is trained so hard, so hard. I've seen that guy literally train and then continue training afterwards. And yeah, I've seen the height difference. So I'm saying that like height's a big thing, but I'm just like, I think he's in trouble. Really do. Should never underestimate Ash.
So before we get you off, AJ, prediction between Astrid and Keely. Obviously, it's the only female fight on the card as well. Talk to me. Who do you think's going to win?
I think from just seeing like in terms of what's been out there, I feel like Astrid might have the upper hand. She was training previously for the L fight, so that reason. And I think from seeing what Keely was saying, she hasn't really had the time to have a proper fight camp, so maybe Astrid has the upper hand there. But then also seeing Keely's like, she's looking good. Like, she's looking strong. So who knows? You'd never underestimate people. But I think at the moment Ash's got the upper hand. But who knows? As I say, Keely looks like she's got some power in that.
We'll see Saturday night.
So guys, that has been the lovely AJ, the Love Island / boxing star of the influencer world. We'll be back in I'll be back in about 30 seconds for the next guest. Thank you so much, and make sure you like and subscribe, guys, as well. See you in a bit.
This is a fantasy fight.
This fight has been a long time coming.
This rivalry goes back 2012 when they last met. Savannah Marshall won that fight.
She wants to get that win back.
She won't be able to sleep properly at night until she reverses that loss.
A 10-year history.
Since she wants to say she's going to knock me out, I am coming over to prepare to knock her out.
Larissa has never faced a threat like Savannah Marshall.
The fight will live up to the hype.
The greatest thing to happen to influencer boxing. He wants all the smoke. Let's go! Here we go. They're rocking. Don't count out of this fight just yet. Whoa! It's the real deal. Are you not entertained? Don't blink on this one.
Charlie Parsons back here on Into Boxing, joined by my brothers Richard, Zayn, and we've also got Wade Plem, the man who's hosting it all on the YouTube boxing side of things. Thank you for coming down and joining us.
What's up, guys?
Let's pin it to you straight away, the press conference today. We were just saying now, we don't really know what to expect. The workout yesterday, we're thinking, you know, some opponents aren't there. What's going on today? Tempers were flaring. Just your first
Everybody
takeaway
was
from
there
it?
today. Everybody was there on 100. Yeah, no, listen, I came into the press conference with one thing in mind: try not to let Ryan Taylor and Slim kill each other. That was my main goal. So my eyes were just kind of all over. Luckily, Slim was right beside me, so I could just grab him if I needed to. But I did not expect Jaden King and Tom Zanetti to go at it like that. I don't think anybody did. But to be fair, Jaden King bringing the family insults to the table right away. Can't do it, man. You can't do it. And I fully expected. I don't know what the water gun was about. When he started reaching for stuff, I started trying to hit the back. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know what was coming out. But you can't do stuff like that and expect not some kind of retaliation. So that was going to happen. But they were like round 2, round 3 in there. It was a full-on war. They had the whole team was in ski masks. I was what is happening, man? The presser was entertaining. Listen, for the people that didn't want to watch that fight prior, they want to watch it now, right? Yeah, luckily, things didn't spiral out of control, and we got some good content out of it. But outside of that, we got the return of JMX. That was fun. I'm a big fan of Joel's. Slim and Ryan, the beef keeps going. We had a slideshow. You guys saw that. He had posters on posters. There have been memes now of the posters. I don't know if you guys have seen this.
Oh, God.
Misfits was like, all right, do your best meme. Someone put, because Mams Taylor had the cowboy hat on, someone put Mams Taylor in the cowboy hat with a Woody the Woody from Toy Story stuff. So that was fun. But no, it was a great press conference. It built up the hypes for the fight, and I think everybody's more excited now. So
yeah, I mean, like you said, it was going down today. Personally, which fight are you most excited for? And from a technical side of boxing, which one are you most excited for?
Technically, I want to see what Slim does with Ryan Taylor, because Ryan's not a guy that I feel like it's going to be easy to put him away.
He'll make it awkward.
He needs to. He needs to make it a little more dirty, a little more. And when I say dirty, I don't mean like going in biting ears and stuff and headbutting. What I mean is he needs to make it a little messy, right? You need to get into Slim's guard. You need to put your head in his chest and clinch him a little more and try to frustrate him early on, right? So he can't build that momentum. He can't build a little bit of that sequence that he built with Temper, where he just started to walk forward, pressure, and then the big one came. If you can interrupt his timing a bit, you might be able to throw him off, get into the later rounds, and then what happens, you know. But outside of that, I'm really excited to see Joel and Jay, man. I want to see what they look like after such a long layoff. You know, I know Joel's been trying to get a fight for forever. Jay has been off like a madman training behind the scenes, so both of those guys, technically, I want to see, and Slim is obviously the Slim Reaper. Can he go 5-0, 5 KOs, man? We'll see.
See, I massively agree with you on the personal front with the insults. Obviously, the opponents have to promote their fights.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, even though I don't agree with some of the things that was said, today was really needed, in my opinion, to promote.
No, 100%. You didn't know who Jaden King was before this. You do now. Tom Zanetti, another one. I'm sure people listen to his music. They love him as a DJ, but you didn't know he had that kind of fire till today, and that brings the levels up. Guys in this scene do understand promotion a little bit better sometimes than pro boxers will, and you know, as long as it doesn't get out of hand, I agree with you. You know, we needed a little fire, we needed a little spunk, and they brought it today, so fair play.
Whoever thought that another opponents on the card could make Slim and Ryan seem a little bit more tainted?
It's crazy.
I think after what we've had over the last two events, it's like they seem to actually be more professional than they ever have.
I saw
and
that.
And then Can King and obviously Zanetti are running around the stage like clowns. It's crazy.
It was a circus today, but I will say, fair play to Ryan and Slim for keeping it together when they probably could have just followed it right up and started running across and attacking each other and doing all that. Ryan's been a lot more composed. I'm just seeing a little different stuff out of Ryan. He looks confident. He looks composed. I know he doesn't have the experience Slim does, and that's why a lot of people are going to lean towards Slim. He has a ton of experience. He can fight at range. He can fight inside, and he's put guys down, you know, something that Ryan hasn't done. But Ryan's also went the distance with Anthony Taylor, and I know that fight hasn't been seen by a lot of people, and that might be a reason that people are looking down on Ryan, but that's not an easy thing to do. Anthony Taylor's a professional fighter, professional with Bellator, fought and took Tommy Fury to a decision, so that's not a guy that goes away, it seems like. So
I think a lot of people are judging sort of kind of Anthony Taylor from the sort of sparring match that they had at Showstart.
That was not a great look.
And I think that was the bad image that it's now created for him, because when people were watching it, it looked like it was in slow-mo. And I think everybody was like, what the hell is going on? But obviously he explained to us on the live stream last night that that's what was supposed to happen.
Yeah, I think the thing that happened there was a miscommunication of what that fight was supposed to be. In my opinion, now I don't work for Showstar or anything like that, but I'm always going to stay honest with you guys. They shouldn't have put it on. They shouldn't have had it. If they were going to do something to warm up the house, to get the crowd going, to get you into it, that happens at all boxing cards. You have guys that fight that aren't televised because they want to get the crowd into it. Oh, this is what boxing is. This is what you should be looking for. That would have been fine. Do it in the dark match, right? Do that. But don't put it on your pay-per-view, especially after Salt Poppy goes out and does what he does, and then you put that on. It's not a good look. Anthony knows that, but he is a skilled fighter for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you were saying about the press conference today, it was crazy. And like you said, sometimes maybe these YouTubers know how to promote it better than actual fights. A lot of traditional boxers, they're not really happy with what's going on with this whole YouTube boxing, social media boxing. What would you say to them?
I would ask why. Like, what are you unhappy with? And I think I could get on the same page with a lot of them if they were saying, you know, this specific thing is taking the piss out of the sport, this specific thing. But when you say the entirety of YouTube boxing takes the piss out of the sport, then I would point you to the sport. And I would say it doesn't just happen in YouTube boxing. Boxing has a problem. You know, there's multiple things you can point to in the sport that you don't take yourself very seriously sometimes. And guys are looking to cut corners and do things that aren't necessarily, you know, by the book or the Marcus Queensberry rules. So it happens in boxing too, but I never look at YouTube boxing as a disgrace to the sport. I look at it as a different lane, right? We stay in our lane unless we want to go into the pro side, and in that case, we're not calling out like Jake does with Canelo and those guys. We work our way up, and that's fine, and that's honestly what Jake's doing. but I never see it as disrespectful or taking the piss out of the sport or demeaning the sport when all they're doing is trying to get better and they take it seriously. And the antics and the promotion, that's fine. I remember one time Tyson Fury wearing a Batman suit to a press conference. So it happens all over the sport. I don't see it as disrespectful.
Well, I'll just pick up on that because I interviewed Kalle Sauerland yesterday, who obviously, myself working with a boxing channel, is someone that we speak to week in, week out.
All the time,
obviously,
yeah.
this week, a different perspective on things. But I said to him, look, there's something that does get criticism, but I think over the years, boxing fans are starting to understand a little bit more. There'll always be a niche bunch that are going to hate it, but you get that with any aspect in life.
Yeah.
But he said to me, what people have to understand and they have to realise is it's not the same. It's something different. These guys are content creators. They've got their fans. They're doing it for their audiences. And it's not that they're just doing it for clout. Of course, they want to prove themselves. But it is a totally different thing. And like you say, you know, there can be instances like Jake Paul and KSI in the past and Eason Gibb where they've had professional bouts, but it gets to an extent for that to happen.
Yeah.
In terms of where it's at the minute, it can be used as a platform to grow the zone, and it can also be used as a platform for these influencers to settle stuff that goes on away and outside of the ring.
Yeah, well, think about it. You learn as an influencer how to box from pros. There's nothing that says that pros can't learn how to entertain from influencers. Yeah. I remember we were at Misfits #1 and Chris Eubank Jr., we were doing the walkthrough getting ready. People were already 15,000 deep before the first fight in that arena, and Chris Eubank Jr. looks up and goes, I've never seen anything like this. Yeah. Pros that are high-level guys, maybe not understanding, but just never seeing that kind of build and receipt for all of that build, right? You do those 3, 4, 5 months of work, and sure enough, look at what Chris Eubanks Jr. did, you know, in the build-up to the Conor Ben fight. How much eyes did he bring to that by saying, I'm not cutting weight, give me that burrito, I'm not having sex for 2 weeks for you. You know, the whole thing he was doing was great. And I've heard Chris build fights before, but he was understanding what he maybe took a little bit from the KSI deal, and he was just being himself with it. I love that. So I think there's always going to be a duality that they can take from us, we could take from them clearly, and try to get better in both ways.
Well, Wade, I've got a geek out on the boxing side. You brought up Chris Eubank Jr. Let me ask you about that, because you'll be the man that I know I can speak to on this side of things about that. Obviously, we saw what happened. I was at the open workout. The commotion came in.
Wild that day.
Conor Ben failed his test. You know, a lot's come out since then. I know that there's legal proceedings going on behind closed doors. But when you saw that, you know, everyone was looking forward to this fight. I had my best mate's mum messaging me, who never speaks about boxing, just saying how much she was looking forward to it. She knew the rivalry of the fathers. How gutted were you not to see that fight?
It's tough, man, because it's like you said, everybody wanted to see it. It's the rivalry renewed, right? The sons fight of the
trilogy.
The trilogy, exactly. And so, yeah, you get this feeling in combat sports, and I would say newer to the boxing scene. Only really been following it close for the last 10 years, but I'm an MMA fiend, and we see this on a weekly basis. And it's not necessarily for failed tests. It is sometimes, you know, John Jones and the pulsing and all that, but anytime a fight falls out this close, it gut wrenches you. It makes you feel like, why do I continue to watch this sport? And then the next week you see a fight for the ages, or you see something that allows you to be able to continue coming back to this sport that always gave us what we wanted, and that was two guys trying each and every time to go in and leave it all out. But as far as Conor and Eubanks, we'll see what happens with this legal proceeding stuff. It's going to be interesting. I have a feeling it's going to go one way, and people are probably going to understand exactly why.
I mean,
that's all I'm going to say about it.
Fair enough. I mean, back to the YouTube boxing. Obviously, you're the man on the mic, but you know, I've heard some rumors that you want to get in the ring.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna keep my sources quiet. But is it true that you want to get in the ring? If so,
like to.
Is there any names in mind?
You know, me and Joel had a back and forth a little bit today. I like Joel. I think Joel's a guy I would love to step in with one day. Right now, I'll break it here. I'm dealing with some more blood clots in my stomach. Unfortunately, that's a little bummer. I don't think people on my channel even know that. We found some a couple weeks ago. My channel's been suffering a little bit because of it, but yeah, you know, it's a rough time right now. I had my first blood clot in my leg after a surgery. I think we're starting to figure out it's more genetic than we knew. So we'll figure it out, and then if I can, then I absolutely will. But for now, we got to take the medicine, pop the blood thinners, and figure it out. But yeah, eventually, if I could. Joel's a great guy. I think he deserves to be in the scene, and I would love to test my skills one day.
Let's wrap this up finally.
Yeah,
on the Ryan Taylor side of things, obviously going in that fight, they hate each other. Sort of at the workout, it was really personal in the fact that they spoke about pressing charges. Just to wrap up finally, going into a fight, I think this is, you know, they have the animosity there. Who will be the one who can bear the emotions much going into the ring on Saturday night? Because this is the people's main event.
It seems like both guys will be able to weather that as the initial fight starts. I just think Slim's experience is what's going to carry him, right? Because he's been in bad positions before. He's been hit before by tough guys. So is Ryan, but I think to find a way to win, it's going to take experience. I think Slim has more. That's going to make the difference, I think.
Well, Wade, thank you for joining us. I think we're going to an ad break, so we'll get in Anthony Taylor next. So, yeah, thank you very much. Make sure everyone likes, subscribe, stay tuned into boxing. Anthony Pretty Boy Taylor comes back again. He loved us so much, he had to come back second.
Jeez.
And if you do it twice, he might even come back thrice. So stay tuned tomorrow night. Make sure you're subscribing, and we'll be back again in a minute.
See you in a sec.
This is a fantasy fight.
This fight has been a long time coming.
This rivalry goes back 2012 when they last met. Savannah Marshall won that fight.
She wants to get that win back.
She won't be able to sleep properly at night until she reverses that loss.
A 10-year history.
Since she wants to say she's going to knock me out, I am coming over to prepare to knock her out.
Larissa has never faced a threat like Savannah Marshall.
The fight will live up to the hype.
The greatest thing to happen to influencer boxing. He wants all the smoke. Let's go! Here we go. They're rocking. Don't count out of this fight just yet. Whoa! It's the real deal. Are you not entertained? Don't blink on this one.
What's up, people? It's your boy Richard Sales Official back with Into Boxing. I'm here with my co-host, Mr. Charlie Stone Island Parsons. We got Zayn Farooqui and Pretty Boy Taylor is back for a second time. What's going on?
Man, you know, chilling like a villain, eating what I'm stealing. That's all I'm doing, baby. I'm back, and it's better in red, and I just been fed.
Jeez, damn. Okay, so press conference today. Pretty saucy. You were next to one of the guys that was causing a lot of ruffle, getting squirted on. Some people don't really complain about being squirted on, but he didn't like it. How do you feel about that?
You know, it's just one of those weave, bop, bop, weave, bop, weave. You know, I mean, look, man, for you to get squirted on, you must have said some really pretty bad shit to your opponent. I don't know what was said until afterwards, but look, I was entertained. It's just water now. If it was bleach, different story now, baby.
Yeah.
Different story. You know, I got on this, you know, $2,500 silk shirt. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm looking good, but man, it's going to be a fight.
Looking good. That question goes back to him looking good.
But to be quite honest, like, props to Jaden and props to obviously Tom Zanetti, even though we've all agreed obviously here on the live stream tonight that it was too personal. But shout out to obviously both fighters, because in my opinion it's promoted the card and Saturday night at a huge percentage now because of what happened today. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, a little chaos, but unprofessional chaos. It could have been handled in a extravagant way, but not explode without controlling the explosion. It could have been more funny, but it was a lot more personal than funny.
Anthony, let me ask you about someone, and I don't know if it's a name that's gone on your radar, but obviously Idris Virgo, someone who boxes as a professional, Hennessy Sports. I know that he's liked to bring up names in the past. Jake Paul, I think he's brought up your name a couple of times. For whatever reason, and I don't know why this is, obviously we saw that he was on Love Island, but these fights aren't being made for him. Just first-hand for you, do you know why that is? Why no one's getting in the ring with Idris? And you know, is there something that can be looked at there, a fight between the two of you?
Well, you know, opposed to me, I'm always fighting these Love Island guys. You know, always. But that's another discussion. As far as Idris Virgo, look, I didn't know who he was until this year of him tagging me, reaching out to me. He's upset because I don't want to fight him. Like, bro, I'm already booked on different shows. I'm the one who's being booked. Why do I have to go off of your demand to fight you whenever you want me to fight? If it makes dollars, it makes sense. Look, I put your name in the hat multiple times to different promoters. They all say no. He doesn't bring enough value. Yeah, you bring the record, but do you bring the value? There are a lot of fighters out there with a great record to fight Canelo. But is there value to fighting you if you're Canelo? You know, he doesn't bring value besides the record. That's all I'm going to say about, as opposed to why I haven't fought Idris. Yes, I've said his name to multiple promotions to fight him. They just say no. It doesn't do nothing for us. He's not active. He's not really fighting nobody. That's all I got to say about that part if you want to ask more questions on it.
No, that's it. Look, let's talk a little bit about Jake Paul. He's got his fight coming up. Spider Anderson Silva, MMA legend. Obviously, we know Anderson Silva towards the end of his career retired from MMA. Looks to go in the boxing ring, beat Julius Cesar Chavez Jr. We know about Chavez Jr. Right. How much can we take from his performance there against Chavez Jr. and also, you know, Jake Paul? I suppose it's his hardest test, but you know, should there be real credit in Jake for taking this test?
Yeah, it's always real credit. I mean, when you look at Jake, people say, well, when he knocked out Tyron Woodley, oh, go fight Tyron then. Okay, fights and knocks out Tyron. They say, well, fight a real boxer, fight Tommy Fury then. Tommy Fury pulls out for unknown reasons. Then they say, well, fight a real boxer then. He calls out to fight Hasim Rahman. We don't know what happened. So that fell through. So everybody's, well, you beat up all these MMA fighters, go fight Anderson Silva. He fights Anderson Silva. A lot of these people have given Jake these challenges, and he took upon these challenges. Okay, I'll fight this guy. What's going on? It's not my fault that they're pulling out. You know, I'm fighting Anderson Silva. What do I have to gain from fighting Anderson Silva? If I beat him, he's 40-something years old. He's old. He's retired. That's the backlash I'm getting. But you guys were the one who was telling me to fight him, since I'm beating up Tyron Woodley and Ben Askren. That's not my fault. But Jake's his own person. Jake's his own promotion, and I can't blame him. The fact that he comes from the YouTube background and the TikTok, when he brings all together almost 70 million followers and fans to the boxing, you can't blame him if he's making that money and pick and choose his opponent. Because if this was your promotion, you would want to protect your own promotion too. But yeah, give the fans what they need and what they want as a fight. So far, these fans has demanded Jake to fight these fighters, and he has. It's just other fights just didn't go through.
If you were in charge of managing his career, what would you do after this fight with Anderson Silva? Because a lot of people say, fight a real boxer, fight a real boxer. Like you said, the fight with Hasim Rahman was there. It wasn't his fault that it all fell through. You know, we'll never know exactly what entailed in that whole build-up. But what is next for Jake if he does beat Spider Anderson Silva?
I mean, here's how I feel. If he beats Anderson Silva, I believe he becomes ranked within the WBC just because Anderson Silva did beat Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. That will probably make him eligible to be fighting for the WBC. And I think his interest will now be shifted from Tommy and KSI to now potential fighting Canelo, which is a bigger fight than the KSI fight. So as far as Jake, what's his next opponent? I can potentially see him fighting Tommy because a lot of people was like, hey, fight Tommy. Okay, then I can see him potentially fighting Hasim Rahman. You know, second time's a charm. But as far as Jake managing career, I feel like he's doing great what he's doing with his career right now.
Yeah, I mean, you touched on KSI there. Personally, if you're asking me, I think Jake Paul v KSI is a bigger fight than Jake Paul v Canelo, only because this new generation, like this fight has been talked about for years. In your opinion, if KSI and Jake Paul were to fight, who gets the win?
Jake Paul, hands down. Hands down. Jake Paul is always in the gym. I've trained with him. He trains 6 days a week. He's conditioned. He's eating healthy. He's doing everything he can to make himself a better fighter. He's not just a YouTuber. He's a professional boxer. How many years does he need to do boxing before everybody say, oh, now you're a professional boxer, Jake? How many people does he need to beat for them to say, oh, now you're a professional boxer, Jake? He's doing this. He's having fun. That's the one thing that we all do this sport, is to have fun.
So let's touch further on that.
Okay.
You called out KSI again today. You used the word manifest. Could you knock out KSI?
Anybody can be knocked out. Absolutely, I can knock out KSI. There's a lot of holes in his games, and that's a guaranteed I can knock him out. Guarantee. I have enough training time, camp for this fight. If he decides to fight me in January, I'm looking to punish this man with the body and take him to the head. It's no different than me getting ready for the next fighter. I have the game plan. I've seen KSI fight. He hasn't fought nobody. Logan Paul doesn't count. Logan, I mean, yeah, he fought Logan, but Logan was just starting off just as like you. Now imagine Logan having 7 more fights, then you go ahead and try to fight Logan now. Different ball game. You know, KSI is KSI. I'm not here to discredit KSI because, one, he's putting in the hard work, he's showing it, and he's having fun. I can't discredit a guy who's having fun doing what they like to do just as me. You know, but as far as me fighting KSI in the future, that is a goal that I want to do, is fight KSI.
Do you make easy work of KSI?
Absolutely.
How
Absolutely.
easy?
Really easy. Second round easy.
What sort of training camp do you need to beat someone like KSI?
Just 4 weeks.
4-week training camp?
4 weeks training camp.
How long will you abstain from sex?
I mean, as long as I need to. It doesn't matter to me. I'm a seasoned MMA fighter. I know what it takes to actually win in the sport and what to do. KSI has a yes man team around him. He's never been broken into the sport. He's never been dropped in sparring. He doesn't know what it feels to really be hit with bad intentions. Besides Logan, but like I said, that's them making their debut sparring one time, you know, as on a professional level. But as far as me and KSI is concerned, I'm looking to manifest this fight. I manifested a Tommy Fury fight. If you go on my Instagram, I manifested I was going to fight Jake Paul. If you look at it, now all of a sudden, I'm sparring and fighting Jake Paul 2 to 3 times a week. You know, I manifested I was going to be on Misfits card. I'm fighting on Misfits. Now I can manifest say, hey, I'm either going to fight Floyd Mayweather, Deji, or KSI. I manifest these things because I put my mind to it and I put the work into it. I'm the only guy who's willing to fight. Let's fight. Let's fight. Who needs to be on the next card? Let's go.
I mean, you said you want to manifest UV KSI. Every time you seem to mention KSI, people laugh. You know, KSI laughed, he shrugged you off. Do you think he's ducking you?
It's not that he's ducking me. I just think he doesn't want to entertain it. He doesn't want to entertain it, and he knows I'm a threat. Obviously. You know, where's the respect of that? I mean, he doesn't have to give me his respect, but there's no respect in it, and he's just shrugging me off because he knows why you have Jake Paul sparring partner here on your card anyways.
What do you mean by that?
Who knows? You know, I think winning this fight, which I will, and winning my next potential fight whenever it happens, can set up negotiation or a process of KSI even mentioning my name. I can't say I go win this fight, KSI, let's go right now. Rumble. It's like, bro, you just won 1 fight after you just tied Ryan Taylor. How about you win 1 or 2 more fights, then we can discuss about potentially as an opponent or a backup opponent.
It's quite good that you're honest on a personal scale that you believe that it needs more build-up, it needs more from both of you guys in your progression of your careers.
Absolutely. You know, I'm an opportunist, but I'm also a realist when it comes to my opportunities. I don't lie. I keep things 100% honest. What I say that KSI does have an advantage at is his height.
Yeah.
It's only his height. I don't see what he can do to hurt me.
Well, obviously you're confident you can beat KSI. He does have a brother, Deji, who had a great fight against Fuzi. He looked amazing. Do you think you could beat Deji as well?
I'll smoke Deji faster than Deji smoked Fuzi.
What about both brothers?
Both brothers get smoked. I'm willing to do.
Night?
I'm willing to fight both fighters in one night, 4 rounds each.
Wow, okay. You're feeling.
Would you need the full 8 rounds in both fights?
Say it again?
Would you need the full 8 rounds in both fights?
I mean, whoever, you know, boxing is a little tricky. You know, you can sometimes run, you know, around those 8 minute, you know, those little 3-minute rounds. But I'm down. I'm game. I'm a fighter. You know, if it makes sense to me fighting at a certain weight, I'm down. But as far like me trying to fight JMX at 195, my body physically can't get up that high. You know
And why
what I'm
would
saying?
you make yourself do it when you're not built to make
Right,
it?
I'm not built. I'm built as a 54-pounder who can get up as high as a 78-pounder in boxing. You know, so physically I can't get that high no more than 85.
Well, we just got comms from behind the scenes that this could be your opportunity to call both brothers out on live stream on Into Boxing.
Hey, look, Deji, I know you got your fight with Floyd Mayweather. I'll see you very soon, but we'll talk about it another time. Win your fight. Let's test your skills. See where you at. KSI. Now I know, and you know, I'm gonna need at least 1 to 2 to maybe 3 wins before we even discuss about potentially fighting each other. But when that does happen, and I mean it's going to happen sooner than later, let's retouch the topic with your manager Mams. Let's figure a way where we can meet in the middle. I'm willing to fight at 80 or 75 or 85. I'm willing to test your skills. I'm game. I'm ready. Let's do this. Just one opportunity. Now, I'm not the type of guy to beg because I make my own battles.
I mean, you said it there first. KSI, if you're watching, you know what he said. But KSI is going to be there on Saturday. And if you want to be there on Saturday, Into Boxing are giving away 2 tickets over on their Instagram. So make sure to follow Into Boxing on their Instagram for a chance to see the fight, to see Anthony Pretty Boy Taylor fight, see KSI there. So yeah, make sure to follow them on Instagram, into.boxing, for a chance to win 2 tickets.
Brilliant. Well, I think that just about wraps up the stream for today. Anthony Taylor, thank you for coming down again. You
It's
loved us so
Friday
much, you had to make it 2
It's
times.
Friday, Sunday, what? It's Friday night. It's Saturday, what? Man, hey, but thank you guys for having me on the show. And, you know, as far as the KSI, I have to be honest with that. I'm not going to get the KSI fight off this one fight, bro.
So guys, it's been your boy Richard Sells Official, Charlie Parsons, Zayn Farooqui and Anthony Pretty Boy Taylor. We'll see you again tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
This is a fantasy fight.
This fight has been a long, long time coming.
This rivalry goes back 2012 when they last met. Savannah Marshall won that fight.
She wants to get that win back.
She won't be able to sleep properly at night until she reverses that loss.
A 10-year history.
Since she wants to say she's going to knock me out, I am coming over to prepare to knock her out.
Larissa has never faced a threat like Savannah Marshall.
The fight will live up to the hype.
The greatest thing to happen to influencer boxing. He wants all the smoke. Let's go! Here we go. They're rocking. Don't count out of this fight just yet. Oh, it's the real